local, sustainable food supply, as local as you can get it. You know, we do and did at Dressing Room Restaurant in Westport, Connecticut. We would buy beef from North Dakota that was very sustainably raised because, you know, it'd be kind of tough to have local beef here in Greenwich, Connecticut. When you talk about sustainable meat, sustainable fish, the important word is actually locale. Where is it coming from? How is it being fished? How is it being stewarded? Is the ocean better for the practice that you use? Is the land better for the practice that you use? The animal better for the practice that you use? That's the stuff that we focus on when it comes to actual animal protein. So here we do have, believe it or not, Montauk striped bass, and it's a beauty. The way you tell it's a beauty is you can see that the bloodlines are still nice and red and vibrant, that kind of like, almost like burgundy wine color, and the flesh is creamy and opaque. And it barely smells like the sea. It barely smells like anything. It's super fresh. Before I get started, though, one of the important things about this particular, which burner is it? That one. Dish. It's a tomato butter fondue. So we have some prepped here that's going to be for the tasting portion, but shallots are probably one of my all-time favorite ingredients. A lot of people will say, and I've even heard chefs say this, it's kind of like, if you can't find shallots, just use onions. That's bull roaring. I would actually use another vernacular, but I decided not to. That's my staff. Oh yeah, by the way, we do have some Wholesome Wavers here. Where are the Wholesome Wavers? People with our Wholesome Wave staff. We have Fiona over here. We have Terry over here. We have Sharon back in the tent. What we do at Wholesome Wave is we work really hard to raise private money and now public money through the government to help people struggling with poverty double their food stamps if they shop at a farmer's market or retailer and spend them on fresh fruits and vegetables. A lot of these families struggling with poverty have a real hard time putting healthy ingredients on the table for their family tonight for dinner, so that's kind of what we do because we all believe in good food. And yes, we double the value of shallots. So I say, don't use onions, find shallots. I mean, if you're like really desperate and you want to do this dish and you can't find shallots, grudgingly use an onion, but I say shallots are the way to go. So we have sliced shallots. These guys did an awesome job of prepping them up for me. And I like to salt the shallots right when they're in the pan as you're beginning to cook them, because the salt actually draws the juices of the shallots out, leaves some of the sugars behind, brings some of that natural vegetable sucrose with it, so that when you're sauteing the shallots, they get sweet without having to brown them. So they actually come out sweeter without being brown if you salt them first than if you don't salt them at all. And I don't like them to be brown. Like if you look at these are opaque. I'll run the pan around when we get to that point. You know, I like them to still have a little bit of texture to them, so when you bite into it, you get that aromatic, shalloty thing going on. It's really awesome. So I'm gonna let these cook, and then I'm gonna work on the tomatoes and the fish. If you could just keep an eye for me moving around every once in a while, man, that would be awesome, man. Thanks, brother. You are the man.